In most of America, a house is not really yours until half the county has looked at it. The inspector wants the wiring. The permit office wants another form. The zoning department wants a site plan. And somewhere in a fluorescent-lit room, a person who has never slept under your roof decides whether your home is officially livable. But some people are not looking for that system. They are fixing up an old cabin, dragging a manufactured home onto a few acres, or building slowly with cash because the bank stopped being useful 2 decades ago. In some rural counties, the question is not whether the city approved every inch. The question is whether anyone is actually coming out to check. This does not mean no laws exist. Septic rules still apply. Electrical safety still matters. Fire risk is real. Bad construction can kill you faster than any HOA letter ever could. But there are still places where the county is small, the land is spread out, and the inspection culture looks nothing like a major suburb. These are 10 of them. The oversight may be lighter. The responsibility is entirely yours. Number 10. Costilla County, Colorado. Costilla County sits in the San Luis Valley, where the land is cheap, the sky is enormous, and a lot of people figure out very quickly that affordable mountain view property does not mean easy life. This county has pulled in off-grid dreamers for years. You can still find small parcels that look almost impossible compared to housing prices near Denver or Boulder. 5 acres, dirt roads, mountain views, no neighbor close enough to complain about your porch light. That is the fantasy. The reality is colder, literally and figuratively. Costilla is not a place where you throw a shed on the ground and declare yourself a pioneer. There are land use rules, permit issues, sanitation requirements, water, septic, access, and winter survival all matter. But compared with the suburban city where every renovation turns into a paperwork hostage situation, rural Costilla feels different. The county is spread thin. Many parcels sit far from utilities, pavement, and easy enforcement. The result is a landscape where people try things they would never attempt inside a city limit. That freedom comes with a bill attached. If your structure is unsafe, there may not be a friendly inspector saving you from yourself before the first hard freeze. If your road washes out, that is still your problem. If your water plan is imaginary, the county is not delivering a municipal system to your door. Costilla is on this list because it shows the first rule of low-oversight living. When fewer people check on you, fewer people rescue you too. Number 9. Hudspeth County, Texas. Hudspeth County is where Texas stops pretending to be convenient. Drive east of El Paso long enough and the landscape opens into dry desert, long empty roads, borderland silence, and pieces of land that can still look cheap enough to make a city person start making bad plans on a Tuesday night. This is a county so large and so thinly populated that the distance between neighbors can feel like a legal structure all by itself. In a dense suburb, you can barely change a fence without someone filing a complaint. Out here, there are stretches where the real question is whether anyone is close enough to notice before the sun destroys whatever you built wrong. That does not mean anything goes. Texas still has state rules. Septic systems matter. Floodplain rules can bite you. Wells, driveways, and electrical work can all become serious problems. And if you build something dangerous, the fact that nobody complained first does not make it smart. But Hudspeth attracts a certain kind of person because the county does not feel like it is breathing down your neck every time you move a piece of lumber. If you are trying to build a comfortable suburban home with city services, this place will punish you. If you are trying to live simply, haul your own water, run on a generator and solar panels, and accept that the desert does not care about your comfort, it starts to make a different kind of sense. The danger is confusing lack of attention with permission. The desert may not issue a certificate of occupancy, but it does issue consequences. Number 8. Luna County, New Mexico. Luna County is the kind of place where a person can look at a land listing and wonder if the system made a mistake. The prices can be shockingly low. The roads can be rough enough to rattle your fillings loose. The wind is relentless, and the idea of building or living cheaply near Deming is powerful enough to make people drive past every warning sign on the way in. What you find is a mix of retirees, off-grid setups, RV situations, mobile homes, and people who are simply trying to escape rent and start over somewhere the landlord cannot reach them. If you are tired of paying for permission, Luna County feels like breathing room. But breathing room is not the same as comfort, and it is definitely not the same as infrastructure. The practical oversight can feel much lighter than what homeowners are used to in regulated suburbs, but the basics still apply. You need a legal way to handle waste. You need water, and hauling it gets old fast. You need a structure that can survive heat, wind, dust, and neglect. A parcel may cost less than a used truck, but you still need a road, a water source, a septic solution, a power plan, and a roof that does not become airborne in the first serious storm. For the right person, lower oversight can feel like independence. For the wrong person, it becomes a very expensive lesson in why cities invented building inspectors in the first place. Number 7. Mohave County, Arizona. Mohave County is one of the great magnets for people who want out of California, out of the HOA, out of rent, out of neighborhoods where someone files a complaint because your trash cans were visible for 11 minutes too long. The county is massive, stretching across desert, mountains, river towns, retirement communities, and remote land where the nearest neighbor may be a dust cloud with ambitions. That variety is exactly what makes Mohave complicated. In Kingman, Lake Havasu City, or Bullhead City, you are not escaping normal rules. Cities have permits, codes, and inspections, and all the usual machinery runs just fine there. But once you move into the rural edges of the county, the feeling changes. Land gets cheaper, roads get rougher, utilities become less certain, and the person responsible for knowing whether the house is truly livable starts looking a lot more like you. Mohave is not some lawless cartoon desert. Septic rules matter, flood zones matter. Zoning and parcel restrictions can still surprise you. And if you buy land in the wrong subdivision, you may find private restrictions waiting like a rattlesnake under a board. But the sheer scale of the place creates room for a different kind of housing experiment. Old mobile homes, owner-built cabins, RV transition setups, off-grid parcels, desert compounds that look fine from a drone and questionable from 12 feet away. If you want city comfort, Mohave can get expensive and frustrating fast. If you want distance, sunlight, and fewer people asking what you are doing, Mohave still has corners where that deal exists. Just remember, the county office may be far away, but the desert is always on site. Number 6. Apache County, Arizona. Apache County is not where you go because you want the government to hold your hand. This is northeastern Arizona, wide land, high desert, remote roads, long distances between everything. Places where the map says there is a road and the ground offers a very different opinion. Land can be cheap in certain areas. Parcels can be isolated enough that your nearest neighbor is a theoretical concept. The whole place has that Western feeling where you can stand on your own dirt and feel like civilization is just a rumor someone mentioned once. But that remoteness is also what makes it genuinely dangerous for the unprepared. When you are this far out, the inspection question becomes less romantic and more practical. It is not just whether someone from the county will come check on your structure, it is whether anyone will know something went wrong before it becomes a much larger problem. Apache County has rules depending on location, structure, and use, but in the remote parts, enforcement feels very different from how it operates in a city. A person can get a lot done out there before the system takes notice. That sounds like freedom until the roof leaks, the road fails, the well comes up dry, or the septic plan was more of a mood than an actual plan. The people who make it work out here understand something important. They are not escaping responsibility. They are taking on more of it than most people would ever want. Number 5. Cochise County, Arizona. Cochise County has almost mythical status among owner-builders and off-grid people, and it has earned that reputation over a long time. Desert, mountains, rural parcels, old ranch culture, borderland grit, a long history of people who do not particularly enjoy being managed. That combination keeps Cochise showing up in conversations about alternative housing and owner-built homes. But this is not a free-for-all, and that needs to be said clearly. Some areas have permits. Some areas have zoning. Septic requirements are real. If you are inside a city or a more regulated part of the county, the off-grid fantasy ends before it starts. What Cochise has is a long association with a more flexible attitude toward rural owner-built housing in certain areas. The culture here matters as much as the code. This is a place where the idea of building on your own land does not sound insane to everyone in the room, and that alone makes it different from most of suburban America. In a typical regulated county, an unfinished owner-built structure is treated as a problem to solve, a liability to manage, a risk to neutralize. In rural Cochise, depending on where you are and what you are doing, It may be treated more like your own business. That distinction is significant. It does not mean your wiring is good. It does not mean your water system makes sense. It only means the county may not operate like a suburban inspector standing behind you at every stage with a clipboard and a concerned expression. For capable builders with real skills, that can be genuine freedom. For dreamers with no skills and too much confidence, it can be a disaster with a very nice view. Number 4. Catron County, New Mexico. Catron County is the kind of place that makes people from regulated suburbs visibly uncomfortable. It is enormous, rural, and famously independent. More land than people, more distance than services. A local culture where personal responsibility is not a slogan on a sign. It is the operating system everyone runs on. This is not where you move if you want a permit office walking you through every decision. In many parts of Catron, the built environment reflects the reality of the place. Ranch houses, cabins, old mobile homes, self-built structures, outbuildings, and practical repairs that would send a suburban review board into a quiet room to collect themselves. But state laws still apply. Septic and environmental requirements still matter. Fire risk is serious in this terrain. Rural New Mexico can punish careless building very efficiently. Compared with the inspection-heavy world of suburban America, though, Catron feels like a different country. If you want to live quietly, build modestly, and avoid the constant low-level supervision of modern life, this county has that space. But services are limited. Medical help may be far enough away to matter. Contractors can be hard to find. Materials cost more when everything has to travel to reach you. And if your house is not livable, the first person who discovers that may be you at 3 in the morning during bad weather with a propane tank that just ran empty. Catron County does not sell comfort, it sells distance. And distance is only freedom if you actually know what you are doing. Number 3. Esmeralda County, Nevada. Esmeralda County is one of the least populated counties in America, and the experience of being there reflects that completely. There are places where the county government feels like a busy office building. In Esmeralda, it feels more like a rumor that has to drive a very long way to reach you. This is not just remote desert. It is a place defined by privacy in a way that most counties never achieve. Old mining towns half swallowed by the landscape. Wide valleys with almost no human activity. A silence that is not peaceful so much as permanent. Nevada state rules still matter out here. Wells, septic, utilities, access, mining claim boundaries, and local regulations all require real attention before you buy or build anything. Empty land does not mean free land, and that assumption has cost people serious money. But the practical reality of a place this sparse is different from anywhere with a functioning suburb nearby. Fewer people, fewer structures, fewer neighbors, fewer reasons for anyone to be watching your property unless something forces the issue. For people who genuinely want to disappear and are prepared to handle everything themselves, Esmeralda offers something most counties cannot. A house out here will not be judged by officials on a regular schedule. It will be judged by heat, wind, isolation, and whether the generator starts when it needs to. That is the inspection in Esmeralda County, and it does not accept excuses or paperwork delays. Number 2. Brewster County, Texas. Brewster County is bigger than some states and considerably emptier than most people expect Texas to be. This is Big Bend country, Terlingua-style desert living. That strange frontier feeling where people build things that look halfway between a homestead and a personal dare. Brewster is known in certain circles because it represents one of the last versions of Texas where a person can still genuinely imagine living far from everything and actually do it. The local culture includes a long tradition of people who would rather solve a problem with scrap metal, a water tank, and stubbornness than wait for someone in an office to approve the concept. The community matters here in a way that sets Brewster apart from a simply empty county. People have been making this desert work for generations, off-grid, off-grid adjacent, and somewhere in between. That living tradition is part of what draws people, not just the land prices or the distance. But Brewster is not easy, and it is not a loophole. Even where oversight feels lighter in remote areas, the physical conditions are unforgiving. Water is the issue. Heat is the issue. Access is the issue. Emergency response time is the issue. Every basic thing a city quietly handles in the background becomes your personal full-time problem. A poorly built house out here does not become charming. It becomes dangerous. A bad road is not rustic character. It is a real problem when the truck breaks down and the nearest mechanic is 2 hours away. A missing water plan is not minimalism. It is failure with a nice sunset attached. Brewster County gives people room. It does not give them immunity from reality. Number 1. Loving County, Texas. Loving County is almost too strange to be real. The least populated county in the continental United States, more oil infrastructure than neighborhoods, more open land than local gossip, more space than almost anyone knows what to do with. If you are picturing a county government that is large, intrusive, and deeply invested in whether your guest bathroom was properly permitted, Loving County is going to confuse you entirely. That is why it takes the top spot on this list. Not because it is a good place to live for most people. It probably is not. Not because the land is easy, cheap, or accessible. Much of what is out there is complicated by oil, ranching, ownership patterns, water rights, and the realities of the Permian Basin. Not every parcel is available, affordable, or buildable. This is not a practical recommendation. It is a symbol. As a symbol of low-oversight rural America taken to its logical extreme, Loving County is hard to match. There are not enough people for normal county life to function the way it does elsewhere. Not enough neighbors for the usual social pressure to exist. Not enough residential development for a suburban-style inspection culture to make any practical sense at all. If someone manages to actually live out there, the question of livability becomes entirely personal. Can you handle the heat? Can you handle the distance? Can you handle the absence of services and the silence that never stops? Because in Loving County, no one needs to check whether your house is livable in the suburban sense. The environment handles that evaluation on its own timeline, without filing anything. That is the final point of this entire list. A place with fewer inspections is not automatically freer in the way most people imagine. It is freer in the sense that more of the burden shifts directly onto you. Nobody may stop you. Nobody may save you either. And for the kind of person who still wants that bargain, there are corners of America where the permit office feels very far away. The neighbors are even farther. And the question of whether a house is livable gets answered one hard season at a time.